You are watching and listening to Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and your favourite podcasts.
Right, Chris.
All right, hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good night, good day, goodbye. How the devil are you? Welcome along. An early prediction show this evening. We are still bathed in sunshine. You can just see it coming through the window past the big block of flats next door. How the devil are you all? Wherever you are in the world, one of those greetings will apply to you. This is LT ID TV1 from Leicester Till I Die. Thank you for joining us on YouTube. And if you are listening to us via your favourite podcast platform, cheers, my dears. Thanks for lending me your ears. Well, that all rhymes. Cheers, my dears. Thank you for lending me your ears. Might write that one down. Just don't want to forget it. Join in the chat to get your predictions in. Those of you that are followers of Young Douglas and his podcast will probably have some idea where mine are going to go, as I did them yesterday with him. He might change, he said, a few, so it'd be interesting to see whether he does or not. Hopefully today it would be good if Brad could read out, because he always reads out one of the participants along with mine and his predictions. So if he could read out Doug's, that would be great. That's just a subtle hint to him because he's in the green room. So just a subtle hint. Can I just say our green room? It's nothing special. It's just him sat on his couch on off camera at the moment. Look, thanks very much. If you're new, please subscribe. Smash the like button. It really does help. And for only $1.99 a month, which is about the cost of half a pint, you can become a member and help support the channel. It is all very, very, very much appreciated. And, of course, don't forget to follow us on all our socials. Luke is in, the True Red. Good evening, Luke. How the devil are you? This will give me a chance to actually work out. That's the one I think I want. That's classic. Don't like that. That's bubble. Yeah, we'll go for minimal. Why not? Let's see what everybody else is saying. John is in. Good evening, John. How are you? Craig also. Hi, Craig. Welcome along. And the aforementioned Douglas. He is in. Hello, Doug. Working from home today. In other words, he's got his feet up. That's what I've worked from home. You have the telly on in the corner. It's great when you're working from home and there's a football competition on and it's not UK times. It is brilliant. But this is the prediction show. Early, like I say, because there's a little bit of a match on at 8 o'clock this evening. Some East Midlands derby. I think it's Leicester City versus not Forest or something like that. I think it is. Well, kicked off at 8 o'clock. So let's get on with this, and then we can do our job. Why? I don't like this new layout. There it is. No, it's not. That's not that either. Brad, help me. How do I get all this shit up? This is the most annoying thing. There must be. I don't like it. They've changed it all. I'll tell you what, let's bring Brad in while I'm waiting. Brad, what am I doing wrong here? How do I get back to... there we go. There we go.
Couldn't tell you, Chris. I don't have the powers that be anymore. Now we're a little box off to the side. There we go. Oh, now we're big again.
They've moved everything around. Honestly, you go away for a month, you come back, and they've moved it all around. Oh, bloody typical. I should have stayed with Eve Mux. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing very well, mate. I'm doing very well. Spoiler alert, I've already pre-written down the other person's predictions. It's not Doug. So Doug will have to put his in the chat. I know that's drink worthy, but unfortunately that
I have them written down, sir, in case he changes his mind.
No, shame. He'll get wrong anyway.
He will. But look, last week, although I am still not moved off the bottom, I'm very much Yaz. The only way is up. Some strange results last week. Who'd have thought Spurs would have put 4 past West Ham?
Not many people. In fact, none at all in the prediction lot. A few went for 3-1, so they were probably a bit pissed off with Spurs, to be honest with you. But yeah, I mean, Brighton keep defying people, don't they? Beating Newcastle. I'm starting to worry about Eddie Howe's position there at the moment.
I am very much so. Yes.
Brentford just need to stop scoring, apparently, because every time they score, they lose. Because they tried scoring second in this game, and it didn't work for them against Manpoo. But I mean, Bournemouth. All right, it was against 10 men, but still, it's not an easy job beating 10 men, especially Arsenal. But they brushed them aside.
In fairness, well done, Bournemouth. I mean, no disrespect to Bournemouth, but even with down to 10 men, you would have expected Arsenal to get at least a point. So well done, Bournemouth.
Yeah. And then obviously VAR City 115. They needed VAR to step in and save them from a desperate point against Wolves. But of course, Chris, all these lovely results sound lovely. The best game of the weekend happened at St Mary's Stadium, didn't it, Chris?
Yes, it did. What was the score, Brad? Do tell us.
Well, I believe if anyone switched it off after about 60 minutes, it was 2-0 to Southampton. The skies were grey, the heavens had opened. It was pouring for Leicester fans.
Yeah.
And then a certain number 7, who the fans may have encouraged to be on the pitch, came on the pitch, and he proceeded to turn the game on his head. Not entirely on his own. There was a few good performers that turned up in that second half, but thanks to a certain Mr. Abdul, Leicester went and got a goal, and then they got another goal, and then in the 98th minute, the last kick of the game, just some Jordan Ayew just decided to go and kick the ball in his neck.
I have to say, I said from the moment we signed him what a brilliant signing that Jordan Ayew would be.
Yeah. And I've always said Patson Daka is a good striker.
Patson Daka is not going to get back in at this rate, is he? I also, at half-time, was writing my blog for the BBC saying how soon should we be getting rid of Cooper, and by the end of the match that had become what a great tactician and masterful manager he is. Not fickle at all.
No, definitely not. I mean, it's amazing, isn't it? The oldest cliches in football still stand true. And like you said, Chris, it's great. We won the game, but at half time, even though I did feel maybe it's because it was Southampton and they have been so poor this season. I did feel that the next goal, if it was to happen, would could turn the game in Leicester's favour. How right were we on that feeling? But
yeah.
I also then had that feeling that if Wout Faes had scored our own goal, it would have been us going, oh dear, this is going to get 4-5-0. And then the questions have to be asked. Now, in a weird sort of way, Chris, East Midlands Derby, hours away, and it's kind of weird because we want to win it. Obviously, we want to win every game of football naturally, but you want to win it because it's Forest. You want to win it because it's Cooper's ex-team. You want to win it because it further extends the gap, albeit until they play at the weekend against us in the bottom 3, which is exactly what we need to be doing. And coming up to Christmas period is getting as many points on the board as possible. But weirdly, and I'm not giving anything away with other people's predictions, it's also one that you feel like a point's good now, doesn't it? Because all of a sudden it makes 7 points out of the last 3 games. So 7 out of 9 sounds a lot better than 4, 5 out of 9.
It does. And it shows how fragile Southampton's confidence must be at the moment. Because you could see once we got that 1 goal back, you could see the doubt that was spreading through that team. And I think it was probably coming down from the stands as well. And I've watched a couple of Southampton blogs. We're mates with a couple, as you know. And they were saying like, oh, shit. We've let in 1. This is only going to go one way. I mean, I'd love Woutface to have an attempt like that at the other end. I don't know if he's got it in him or not, but maybe he's too knackered by the time he's run the length of the pitch. But what a save! The save of the match coming from possibly from an own goal. But it's funny, isn't it, how suddenly things change? And obviously, we'll come on to talk about the Leicester game. But as I put in my blog, if Abdul does not start tonight, there needs to be questions in Parliament.
I mean, yeah, you'd imagine after the performance he put in that there's no way he cannot start. But I do reiterate what I said in our breakdown of a post match and on the Tuesday night show about it with Craig, not talky talk Craig. You know,
I know who you mean.
Oh yeah, sorry, did I say that out loud? No.
Yes.
Is that the one thing you can say, and I know it's easier now, things look a lot more positive to say. We know what Fatu was capable of, but in them first three or four games, Chris, he wasn't there, was he? He was missing. He didn't seem to have the same flow and freedom. So I actually understood why he wasn't getting the starting lineup. But this is where you kind of go, well, now he's sat on a naughty step, if you will. He's been told to train hard and earn his spot back, and hopefully this is exactly what it's done.
I actually it's still up there, the preview show with Reese from Red Side of the Trent, and I said Abdul Fattah has got to be careful. He's on the verge of becoming the new Damari Gray, and that is a super sub. But when
hold on a minute, hold on. You just used the words Damari Gray and super sub in the same breath, Chris. That's not a sentence that goes together, because at least Fatu scores goals. Damari Gray would run for 20 minutes and look good. He didn't do anything else when he played 90
No,
minutes.
but he was better when he came on than when he started, is the point that I'm trying to make. Which you got to say, he would have a good game as a sub or a decent game as a sub. He would come on and start the next game and be bloody awful. So Fatwa's got to get that out of his system. But look, we've got to do it. I don't want to look at the table. I really, really don't. Oh dear, I pressed the wrong thing. Right.
Oh, no. Come on, the public awaits. I reckon we should. You know how like when we celebrate things or someone beloved leaves us on this planet, we have a 2 minutes applause. I think we should have a 2-minute ovation for this table, Chris.
Oh, there we go. I've got to say, because Nate has just come in. Nate is doing very well there. I think that Nate in America is somehow managing to see the games before they kick off because of the time difference and get his predictions in. But look, it's upside down. The table, I think I've actually typed it in upside down because
you could only wish, mate. I mean, if it makes you feel any better, the way to look at it, Chris, is you're the world's strongest man in this league because you're holding everybody up.
Yes, and in fairness, I did have a better week than a lot of others, 6 points. So that gap to Wayne, it was 6 points, I think, last week. So it is coming down bit by bit.
You're just chipping away at it, mate, aren't you? You're just trying to make things interesting.
Yes.
This, folks, is where Chris gets all happy, all right? And he maybe, depending on what he predicts, even gets a point on the board or 8, maybe even 3 tonight. And then that's the only point he goes and gets.
I'd take that, to be honest with you. I really would. But look, well done to Spencer up there top. Nate second. Our Craig is third. Paddy somehow is fourth. Probably he's talked that long that he forgot to write his results down. Brad, you're still in seventh, but, his title is looking a little bit like it's slipping away from you.
It's right. I just do what Man City usually do. I'm slow burning and then I'll go on a rampage. You watch this space. It's all right. I'm on Europa League conference at the moment, which is something Manchester United struggling. Ask Fenerbahce.
Yes.
So it's all right. There's still plenty of time.
There is. Anyway, let's get on with it, shall we?
I mean, we are running out of time, so let's.
Let's. Okay, here we go then. So, look, we normally would obviously start with the game tonight, but then that would sort of kill the show off straight away. So we'll move on to Aston Villa versus Bournemouth, Brad.
Yeah, two teams in opposite ends of the tables, but actually having a good time in terms of form books. And Bournemouth's. Did you know, Chris? I don't know if you got told this recently. You might have, but did you know Gary O'Neill used to manage Bournemouth?
No, did he?
Yeah, and do you know who else? Very good friends of ours, Harry Redknapp as well.
No,
I know.
no. Now you're just being silly.
I
I'm sorry, I'm not
know.
having that. I'm not having that. Is
But
that
no,
the
I
Gary
mean,
O'Neill that wears the condom?
maybe only when certain people are around, and we might have to. But no, Chris. I mean, Villa are doing very well under Unai Emery. He's built a squad, very strong squad throughout. It's a very talented bunch of players in there. Duran having a bigger comeback than they usually do in football terms. He's having a great season. Top of the Champions League as well, mate,
Yes.
aren't they? As well, so they're having
Yeah.
and that's with a win against Harry Kane FC in there. So things are looking good. I don't know they will be because Real Madrid haven't won all three. I was going to say I don't know if they were after Real Madrid beat Dortmund, but they are. They're still top of that. So both teams going well. Both teams striving to reach the top of their
Yeah.
expectations. Very good win for both at the weekend. Fulham away is a tricky place to go, and obviously Bournemouth beat Arsenal. It's a tough one, Chris, and I'm kind of regretting my own prediction here after all that bigging up I've done on both teams, because Spencer, who is our special guest on this week's random player podcast, if you will, he's gone 3-1 Aston Villa. And I feel like this will be a close game, and it'll probably be goal late in each half that does it. I know, Luke. Who would have thought it? But I've gone 2-0 Villa, but I've got a funny feeling I should have made it on 2-1, but I'm sticking with 2-0 Villa.
Right. Well, let me tell you this. Villa a third, but the form table is based on the last four, because if we base on anything else, we might as well just use the league table at the moment. So based on the last four, Villa a third, 2 wins, 2 draws. Bournemouth are actually in 11th, 2 wins and 2 losses. Bournemouth are going to be buoyed by that win last week. Of course they are. It's going to give the players a nice boost. Villa, though, look, I've said this before. I rate Unai Emery very much as the manager, and I think there's a certain team that play in red and white in North London that will probably have regretted letting him go and hounding him out the club. In fact, so it's going to be a tight game. To let you know, Doug has gone 3-1, or he went 3-1. But I have gone, well, it's a full house. I've gone 1-0 to Aston Villa.
You're boring. You used to be cool, Chris. You used to be adventurous.
There might be a Desmond coming up later, though. Unless I change my mind.
Don't go with my emotions, Chris. The number 5's got very lonely in the last few weeks.
So hang on to your hats for that. Craig's gone 3-1 Villa, the same as Doug. John has gone 2-0 Villa. So nobody's giving Bournemouth much of a chance, to be honest with you.
I think it's because it's away from home. Because I've got I don't know what it is, but that does play a mental part, I think, in a lot of people's predictions. Because if you'd have said to me this was Villa going to Bournemouth after what they've done, I probably would have gone for a draw. I'm not, you know what I mean? And I just think that's how it goes in people's head. It's like a bookies, isn't it? And we don't endorse gambling here. And when the fun stops. But you know what I mean, Chris? It's like the odds are always in the home team's favour. I mean, some clowns thought Southampton were going to win last week, so they made them the favourites. I don't know what bookies thought that, but there we go.
Now, there's 2 games that Doug has went for 6 goals in. This next game is one of those, Brentford Ipswich. Brentford, I am surprised. I thought they would be higher. The 14th in the form table, won 1, drawn 1, lost 2. I think they started better than they have been recently. Ipswich still looking for that elusive first win. Hopefully, it's not going to come next week. When was it the week after next when we play them? I am starting to worry for Ipswich. I'm not worried for McKenna because I think he'll, even if he gets them relegated, he'll still be lauded quite rightly for what he's achieved. But I think they're struggling because they bought too many players. You know, that Nottingham Forest effect.
Yeah.
And a lot of players come in. A lot of the players that were there from sort of League Two days will have thought, "Oh, come on, give me a chance in the Premier League." So they're going to be a little bit niggled. And I just can't see Ipswich getting anything away from home on this. I have actually gone 2-0 to Brentford.
Well, Chris, you have agreed with one of us. And you have agreed with the man who's top of the predictions league. Spencer
Yes, that would do.
also gone 2-0. Funny enough, though, Chris, I do worry for Ipswich, and I think they need something sooner rather than later on the board points-wise. And not to give them anything to be buoyed for going into our game against them, which I think is the one annoyingly just before the international break. It's absolutely ludicrous. It's absolutely pathetic that we have so many international breaks when the flipping football season started. But I'm not going to talk about it. However, Ipswich are the Luton of this season. They find a way to pick up a niggly point here, the odd win scattered around, but in the end, like you say, Chris, they won't sack him. He won't have enough to keep them up, you don't feel. But he won't shame them. They won't be disgraced going down, will they? You know what I mean? They'll take it to the last couple of games of the season at worst. I have given Ipswich a chance because Brentford scare you. If Brentford score within the first 30 seconds of the game, you've got a chance of winning it or at least taking a point. So Ipswich might just score from kickoff and hope for the best. Having said that, I have actually gone for an Ipswich special. I've gone for a 1-1 draw.
Well, that I can understand where you come from, definitely. And just to say that Doug went for 4-2.
Yeah, well, that's why Doug's 15th.
That one is 4-2 now. We'll have egg on our face. John, he's gone 2-1 for Brentford. Craig, 3-0 for Brentford, either side of me. And Big Ant is in. He says, your favourite red here. No.
He's already in the chat. And he's a Forest fan.
That's Angela Rayner is my favourite red. How dare you, sir? I don't know that. She's not, but I just thought I'd say that. It's the only ginger I can think of. Right. Moving on. Brighton and Hove Albion are hosting Wolverhampton Wanderers. I mean, look, I got absolutely, as you know, anybody who saw the review show on the Monday night, I got torn a shred off by hand up the arse Craig stroke Paddy, who loves Gary O'Neill. And I said, yes, they have had a difficult start. When you look at the teams they've played, they've had the hardest start of any club down there. But they are an established Premier League team, so they should have got something more than they've got. And they're sat with 1 point on the board, nothing in the last 4 games, the last 4 on the trot. Gary O'Neill is, I'm afraid, Craig, and he's probably not watching, but he's got to be up there as one of the first for the sack, hasn't he, Brad?
Yeah, because this is the tricky part of being a manager in this business, because it's all right using the obvious, the Chelsea, the Arsenal game, the Liverpool game, the Man City. We played all of these teams, but like you said, Chris, look, it's a trial, and it's very tiring to come through a period like that. And I do sympathise with them for getting such a brutal start, but only picking up 1 point from other games is what's killing them. You could argue and say, well, yeah, but Villa in that mix. Yeah, but Villa only just got started. They were beatable at that point, The game against Brentford, you scored 3 games away from home, Chris. You don't expect to lose it. They lost it 3. And even in the big games, Chris, yes, they held their own against Man City. They were a VAR away from taking a very well-earned point for their duties. But against Chelsea, they forgot they had to play a second 45 minutes. They came in at 2-2 and just got absolutely tore to shreds. 4 goals without reply. They lost that game 6-2, Chris. And I just wonder the mental and physical impact of this running now, because they're playing a Brighton side that are looking really good under the hipster manager. Beat Newcastle, doing really well in the league. And this could be damning. Because I feel like the players who were clearly behind Gary O'Neill and Paddy probably in the queue, but they're behind him. They want him to keep his job. They want to sort this mess out. They put all their effort in to try and desperately shock the world and get something against Man City. How much have they got left in the tank? And I hate to do this to Wolves fans. This could be the final act, and it isn't a pretty end. I've gone Brighton 4, Wolves 1.
Ooh, okay. Well, look, Wolves, like I say, they are anything to me. Anything that wherever any team has been in the league over one season is an established team in that league, and Wolves have been there 3 or 4 seasons now. Wasn't so long ago. Did they actually get into Europe one season? They're certainly close to it.
They were close. They were knocking on the door. I think that was the season, maybe.
Nuno was there, wasn't he?
Maybe, and I think that may have been the season that someone picked them to it at the end.
But they've got 1 point. We are the newly promoted team. We are the team that, look, we didn't buy who we wanted to buy. We were very much caught in what we were allowed to spend and what we did buy in the transfer window. We got 1 point after 90 minutes. And they should. I know they've had a harder start than us, but we played a top 6 side and we got a point. You know what I mean? And yeah, all right, they came very close to getting a point against Man City. I came close to having a date with Jennifer Aniston, but then I woke up. So it's all if, buts, and maybe. Brighton up there in 8th place in the current form table based on the last 4 games. I think Gary O'Neill will stay until the international break, but that's when I think he could go. You've gone 4-1. I have nearly agreed with you, but I've gone 3-1. And Buggy Babes has gone 3-0.
Well, Doug, you will be the happier out of us on this one, because he's agreed with Spencer, who's also gone 3-0. I just feel like everybody's probably gone, Wolves are really unlucky. They'll go to Brighton. This is where they'll get it. And I just think, well, no, hold on a minute. 1 point out your first, 8 games of the season. And you've been demoralised when you've played teams that you're expecting to pick up more points, even you win, and you've not managed it. I just feel like it's drained them. And Brighton are really, really good this season.
They are. Well, if you said, like, when you look at Brighton, that they can afford to let a player of the class of Buenete go out on loan and still be sat 5th in the league, that's how good they are doing. Craig's gone 4-0 to Brighton. He's nearly agreeing with you. John's gone 2-0. Brighton for 2-0 as well for Shane. Doug, yeah, he just confirmed here. Thank you, Doug. They got into the quarterfinal of the Europa League, got knocked out by Olympiacos in 18-19.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. I
Yes.
remember my dad he went to the home leg of Olympiacos.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Doug, do you know about tonight yet? If I can just ask you whilst you're in. Right, coming up next, just when Russell Martin thinks it probably couldn't get any worse, up pops a little game away at Manchester City. I mean, it's a case of just how many isn't this one, Brad?
Yeah, I really think it is. I mean, I can't exactly remember all our fixture lists the last time we was in the Premiership of the order of how things went, but we got some beatings, didn't we, Chris? And we also had a game where we were winning in the 90th, 89th minute and lost it in the 94th. But I won't mention who against because I'll get erections over it.
We occasionally do that to other teams now as well.
Well, it seems that way, and that was the point I was making. It wasn't in such a dramatic fashion, but the same thing happened to Saints at home. The last team you want to see is Man City away as your next fixture list. You're almost I say you're almost crying out for an Ipswich, but they bottled that as well, didn't they, in the 95th minute against them? So they're crying out for somebody just to be a freebie, and they're not finding them at the moment. And I nearly put the Mockett on it, but then I was like, well, actually, Southampton away, not Man City, so they won't break our record. But it's in danger, Chris. It really is in danger.
That was, I think, 6 years ago this week. In fact, we put 9 past them.
Well, I don't think Man City will put 9 past them, although they could quite easily.
I have heard rumours that whenever Southampton play Leicester from now on, they're just going to start with 10 men and give the referee a break. They always get one sent off.
Yeah, it might just be easy for them than going through the heartache of games like last week.
Yeah,
I'm going to say that me and Spencer have agreed that Man City are going to score the same amount of goals here, but he's been generous to the Saints, whereas I haven't. See if you can figure out Spencer's when I tell you mine, because I've got Manchester City 6, Southampton 0.
I'm guessing he's gone 6-1.
You would be. I tell you what, if you was good at guessing as you were predicting, you'd do a lot better, mate. Because yes, Spencer's gone.
Thank you, mate. But do I get a point for that?
You get a round of applause. There you are. Yeah. I'll give you a little bonus point at the end of the season if you're still bottom.
I might need it, mate. I might need it. Doug went 5-1 to Manchester City. But this is a bit like sliding doors, because I had 6-1, 6-0, 5-1, and I went 5-0. I don't think Southampton will get a look in. And when you look at Wolves, and this could be the big difference, again, you've got your promoted team like Leicester. We're on a -2. We're the same as Manchester United. Wolves are -13, Southampton are -12. And as I said to Doug the other day, can I honestly see a situation where Wolves are going to get 13 goals back between now and the end of the season? No. I can't see it happening. And I can't see it happening for Southampton, that they will win even if they can't see them winning 12 games by 1 goal, but I can't see them winning enough to get those 12 goals back. And I think it's just going to be a lot worse for them after this game. I mean, at least Wolves, like you say, put up a fight a couple of games. Southampton, look, when we come on to our game, we're going to say what a boost it was the way we won. It's given us confidence, blah, blah, blah. What that must have done to Southampton players. They would have absolutely loved the international break to be this week so they can get over it. But you know, or at least be playing Wolves or something. But to lose it in the 98th minute of a 97-minute long game and then be facing Man City away, it's going to be a cricket score, isn't it? You know.
It really is.
Now, let's have a look what everybody else has said here. Craig's gone 5-0 Manchester City. What a good man. I like the cut of that man's jib. As indeed I do with Shane, who's gone 5-0 Manchester City as well. John's gone 4-0 to Manchester City. Fai said the final nail in Martin's coffin. Yeah, Doug, you went 5-1, quite right. And Craig said Martin sack time. I don't even think he could win the sack race, to be honest with you. Hi, guys. Sorry I'm late. I forgot you were on at 5 p.m. Did I manage to get my predictions in? Of course, I missed the deadline of 8 p.m. That's Michael for you, Brad.
Michael, if you put them in the chat before it kicks off, because it's rare that we had to have a Friday game. As long as you get him in, mate, I'm quite lenient. Yeah. Chris would have.
I tend to say something like 8 p.m. because I know if I said by 7 p.m. tonight, somebody would be late. So if I say 8 p.m. and you're late, it gives you a little bit of a breather.
Yeah, but don't worry, Michael. If you want to just quickly type them into the group chat, mate, and get them in, it'll still count.
Yeah. Doug says, I can't see Martin going after this game, maybe next one. And Michael Phipps has just added there. He's agreed with a few of us there. 5-0. I had three games that I found difficult to predict. This next one was one of them. Everton Fulham. Everton sat below us. 2 wins, 2 draws, 4 losses. -6. Fulham, who started really well, and I thought they gave us a footballing lesson. I was so impressed with Fulham when they beat us in our second game. You know, you could look at you could look and see that they were an established Premier League team. They'd kept the majority of the players together, and you could see they were used to playing with each other. They got a manager that they liked. They knew what he wanted, and they basically, gave us a lesson. I do feel they have fallen off a little bit, but they're still 10th in the form table. 2 wins, 2 losses in the last 4. Everton actually are not easy to find. I can't find. They've got to be in the table somewhere. No. Wow. Everton are 4th in the form table.
It's amazing what happens when you win a few games, isn't it?
I know. Not lost in 4, folks. 2 wins, 2 draws. With 8 points. I might have to change I'm going to change my prediction because I'm allowed to, because I've not told you what it is yet. But you go ahead, Brad. You go ahead, Brad.
Well, I'm sick of waiting, Chris. I'm very disappointed. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. I'm very sick of waiting. Right, the number 5 has been waiting to evolve into a lovely number 6 for weeks on end, and you've just not catered to its need. Justice for Desmond, I say, and here it comes. I've gone for a Desmond. I've gone 2-2.
2-2. Okay. Douglas, he went for a 2-1 win to Fulham.
Funny enough, so is Spencer.
There we go. I'm actually going to stick with what I said yesterday because I have been impressed with Fulham. And Everton, the duo lost really, aren't they? But I've gone 1-1. I've gone for a draw, but just the 1-1. Sorry.
I hope it's 2-2.
Of course you do. You get 3 points then. John's gone 2-1 to Fulham. Shane's gone 1-0 Everton. Michael, I did put them on X last night. Cheers, Michael. Craig, there you go. Craig's your best friend. He's gone a Desmond.
Finally, a bit of sense in this universe.
And Michael has gone 2-3 to Fulham, so nearly a Desmond, but not quite. You mentioned earlier, Brad, and I was listening to you. I know you sometimes don't think I do, but I was listening to you.
Oh, God.
And you mentioned feeling a little bit worried for Eddie Howe.
Yeah, because he's a popular figure with the fan base. Shearer is so far up his rear end, he's turning the same shade.
Or as
But
we
I
like
get
to
it.
call it, a Gary Craig affair.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But I do worry because this was something that people started speculating the second he walked through the doors at St James's Park. He'd do okay, he wouldn't do bad, but he wouldn't take them to that level. He'd help steady the ship, board up the holes in the ship and then he'd hand over the reins to someone else to steer them up to where they want to go. Because inevitably, Man City, Newcastle are going to want to get into the top four regularly. They're going to want to start to challenge Man City for a title. They're going to want to expect to start seeing silverware because they're still starved of silverware, Chris, even in this changing period. And again, people might say, well, it took Man City a while to get going, but patience is very thin in the world of football, and I have to admit, whilst I'm going to sneeze. I don't want to sneeze. Whilst I have been impressed with the job Eddie Howe has done, this season is faltering. 1-0 defeats, lackluster in front of goal. Isaac didn't start the season or has been out for a few games, and he'd looked off the boil. Not quite clicking in terms of their performances and results that their fans would ultimately expect, and ultimately the hierarchy, the people that really matter in this case are expecting. Having said that, they are playing against a team that play football the Enzo way, and that has started to refalter again, didn't it, Chris? All right, you can say they lost to Liverpool, that's fair, but the week before they couldn't beat 10 Men Forest. Bloody hell. In fact, 10 Men Forest nearly won the game with the last kick of it from a corner. I worry that if they lose this, that they will lose patience. And I'll think they'll want more than just an international break to scramble around for a manager. Obviously, Thomas Tuchel is out of running because he's now the England national coach. So what's out there to grab, you may ask?
Man
Obviously,
United soon, possibly.
well, yeah, but that's not something that Newcastle want really. They kind of want Ten Hag in a job so that any available manager might choose Newcastle over them.
Yeah.
I hope that doesn't happen. Spencer thinks it's going to happen because he's gone to 3-1 to Chelsea. I want Newcastle to have their favourite managers still be in charge. So I've gone Chelsea 1, Newcastle United 2.
Oh, okay. Well, you're going against the form book then, because Chelsea are sat in 6th place in the form on the last 4. Two wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. Newcastle are actually down in 16th in the form table.
I was reading that, Chris.
They haven't won in 4 and only got 2 draws, and they've conceded 5 goals. Look, I like Eddie Howe, and I think he will always be. I mean, what Fergie achieved at Man United was unbelievable, and he will always be applauded as one of the best managers ever at any team in the world, and quite rightly. But what Eddie Howe achieved at Bournemouth was equally as good, taking a club that was on minus 17 all the way to the Premier League and keeping them there. I'm very much like you, though. I think Newcastle, and I've got to say, a bit of credit to Newcastle because they are trying to do it fairly and not break, too many financial rules or anything like that. They are trying to stick within PSR, but I am worried that Newcastle fans are going to start. I like Newcastle fans, but I think I've seen just 1 or 2 of them maybe starting to turn and like, we should be doing better than this. Like, well, no, you shouldn't. you're where you are. That's football. But of course, being the richest club in the world, and it's natural. It's natural. I would if that had happened to Leicester. Well, look, got this bloody money. Why don't we spend it? It was interesting that Potter was being interviewed on a podcast, and he was asked directly if he had been interviewed for the England job, and he refused to say who had interviewed. He said, "I've had lots of interviews since I've been out of work, but I'm not naming any of them." So I'm guessing he wasn't.
Well, you know what? I don't understand how, because he hasn't. It ain't exactly like he's got a way to silverware and experience and reputation to back him up.
No,
he got
no.
into the Premier League and kept them 4 teams. The man's deluded.
Doug has gone 2-0 to Chelsea.
I never liked Doug anyway.
We like me even less then, because I've gone 3-1 to Chelsea. I have to say, Chelsea impressed me against Liverpool. I expected Liverpool to almost roll them over, and obviously Chelsea are playing football the Enzo way. And as I said the other day, I think if we still had Enzo, we wouldn't be sat on 9 points now like we are.
No, we'd be Southampton.
That said, the and no disrespect, but the standard of players at Chelsea is a lot better, obviously, than at Leicester. So you can you can get away with it. But yeah, I think this is Chelsea is starting to click now, and I like you. I am worried for Eddie Howe. Let's just see what people are saying. Craig, like and share all. Thank you very much. John has gone 2-1 to Chelsea. Rich is in from United TV. Good evening, Rich. How the devil are you? Welcome along, sir. It's been a while. We've got you next week. If you want to come on and do a preview, I will probably be doing a preview on Tuesday night, and I am actually after a Manchester United fan. How are you feeling about this season so far? Do you fancy that you're going to carry on in the Carabao Cup against Leicester? Could be interesting. Craig, like I've said, like the cut of that man's jib. He's gone 3-1 to Chelsea. Doug says that Isaac has apparently rejected a new contract. Shane, what a man of great intelligence. Has gone 3-1 to Chelsea as well. You're on your own there.
Guys, if you're worried that you've copied bottom of the league and want to change your Newcastle prediction, feel free to edit them as you go along.
You can see he's like, honestly, if fucking Newcastle win this, I'm deleting Brad. He's not doing this show ever again. Max Williams says, bye, I know it's short and sweet. Well, Brad's short, I don't know about sweet. He's got to get ready for tonight. Good luck, mate. Bring back the 3 points, mate. Ziv is in. Good morning, Ziv from San Francisco. Let's all go to San Francisco. Do you wear flowers in your hair? You're too young. You're probably too young to know what the hell I'm talking about. Craig would love that. And me too, Doug. I don't think you're going to Liverpool. I know I'm old. I'm interviewing Marty Wilde next week, and everybody's saying, who the hell is Marty Wilde? As soon as I said it's Kim Wilde's dad, they went, oh, yeah, well, we know Kim Wilde, but nobody knew Marty Wilde. So the pension's on the board. Right. A team that's up and down like a bride's knickers on a wedding night. Tottenham. It's a London derby. They travel off to Crystal Palace, having just beaten West Ham 4-1, and pretty easily, to be honest with you. Palace, surprisingly, really, really surprisingly, I had them sort of mid-table. Obviously, still could be, but 18th in the prediction league, 18th in the form league, 18th in the normal league. Surprisingly, one of the four teams still to win a game. Palace, Spurs, they are up into second. 3 wins, 1 loss in the last 4. Is this going to be the game that kickstarts Palace's season?
No. No, it's not.
Fair enough. Short, sweet. See,
I
Craig,
know,
if
I
Craig's
thought,
watching, that's how you answer a question.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just don't see it. I'm really disappointed in Palace. They, if you'd have done the form book of the last five or six games of last season, 5 wins and a draw, or something like that, or 6 wins and a draw, or whatever it was, they look good. They've had one player, big player, or a couple of players go, but they've kept a stronghold of their squad. And I just thought, well, Palace will make a few signings. Thanks for RU. You can have Edward back, but thanks for RU.
Brilliant
And I
signing.
just,
Always said it was.
yeah. They didn't call RU an OAP, and Edward was going to, show him how it's done. I mean, no goals versus 2. I'm just saying, Chris. Just making a point.
I hated Edward coming more than AU.
Yeah, it was Daka 2.0. In fact, that's an insult to Daka, and that's saying something. No, Tottenham have found a little bit of form. We know Tottenham's form is a bit premature as always. They go on a good run and then they'll go on a bad run. But I just don't see anything else here. I've gone for a big 3-0 Spurs win. I don't see it being any other way around.
Are you locking that in? 3-0?
Oh, it's locked in, signed, sealed, delivered. It's 3-0 Tottenham.
You're mine. Well, quite right. I'm so disappointed with Palace. They lost a couple of decent players. I've got to say, they might be regretting, because, of course, they did offer AU a new contract, and he turned it down. But they refused to offer him a 3-year contract. They'd only offer him 2 years. We offered him 3. He came to us, and yes, I'm going to hold my hands up and go, wasn't keen on AU, but look, he scored 2 goals to a belter against Tranmere in the Cup. And I don't know how he managed to get that one through the crowd of players into the net, but who cares? He did. Tottenham, they're up and down. I had them doing well this season, but look, their Spurs are always Spursy, aren't they? Doug went 2-1 to Tottenham. I went and I did ask you if it was locked in here, because I have gone Crystal Palace 0, Tottenham Hotspur 3.
Oh, well, you can have that point then, Chris. Go on then. I mean, Spencer's been generous. He's gone 2-1 to Tottenham. But yeah, I just don't see where it ends for Palace right now.
No.
A few weeks ago, I might have said the right doctors turned up for Palace who doctored Tottenham. But comprehensive wins in the last few games. So,
yeah. Again, I can't think who the Palace manager is.
He's some foreign bloke. I can't pronounce his name.
But somebody will tell us in the chat. But yeah, I'm worried for Palace as well this season. I'm not going to lie. Right, so we move on to. Well, no, I didn't know. We won't move on because I've not done what everybody said in the chat. Brad needs some sleep, looking tired. Well, he's getting plenty of time in bed. I don't know if he's getting much sleep or not. Palace 1, Tottenham 2 for John. Shane has gone Palace 1, Tottenham 2. I'm moving on very, very quickly here, you may notice.
Good.
Craig has gone 3-1 to Spurs. You all right, Brad?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Moving on. West Ham United.
The watch on, guys, when I turn up, I've killed him.
Yes, I'm going into hiding. West Ham United hosting Man United. I remember Oliver Glasner. That's it. Thank you, Luke. Thank you very much, Oliver Glasner. A couple of weeks ago, I think it was, Rich from United TV, Man United channel, came in and said, you must be happy you're only 2 points behind Man United. And I said, well, if Man United was second or third, I would be, which is what I predicted them to have a better season this year. Man United's problems go deeper than just changing a manager. They can't just change a manager. I said, look, you look at Arne Slot going into Liverpool, and he went into a building that's got solid foundations and able to build on that. The foundations are crumbling, not just the stadium, but the actual foundations of the club are crumbling. It doesn't matter if you had Slot, Mourinho, Solskjaer. If you had about 5 managers in there, Man United would struggle. It isn't just about we need to get a new manager in and we need to buy a couple of good players and we'll win the league. You've had your run. Liverpool had their run before Man United. Man United then had a fantastic time under Fergie. It took Liverpool 23 years to actually win the title again. So you've got a bit of a weight on your hands, Man United, and I think they've very much got a weight on their hands. West Ham, for me, will be absolutely stung by last week's result. Had this been at Man United at Old Trafford, could have seen Man United getting something. Are you ready for this? I have gone from West Ham United 2, Manchester United 2.
Oh, for God's sake! No.
Oh, you haven't. You haven't.
Chris, the one game.
Let us see your face now. Can I just say, not only that, Bradley, and I'm going to call you Bradley, you've got 2 Desmonds in this week.
I'm trying to compensate for you, and you couldn't have waited one more game to go for a pissing 2-2. Yeah, I've gone 2-2 and all.
Yes, love it. Love it.
You know, the worst thing is, Chris, when you said you've probably gone for a 2-2 and I needs to wait, I was looking at the fixtures like, he ain't gone 2-2 there. He ain't gone 2-2 there. I bet he's gone 2-2 where I've gone 2-2 and you have gone 2-2. And I'm going to say 2-2 until it hurts. Spencer has been different to us, though. He's gone West Ham 1, Manchester United 2. So we've all got Man U scoring 2 goals. Just that me and you have also got West Ham scoring.
Doug has agreed with Spencer because Doug's gone West Ham 1, Man United 2 as well. Now, interestingly, in the chat, John has gone West Ham 2, Man United 1.
Can see it happening.
Craig's gone for a draw, but he's just gone 1-1.
Chicken Craig.
Shane, love this man. He's gone 2-2. He's gone for a Desmond as well. Hey.
Praise be the Desmonds.
Hang on a second. Where's Shane in the table? Let me just go back and have a look.
He's up there. He's 6th.
He's 6th. Yeah, no. I'll take being the same as Shane on that one.
And his name doppelganger Shane Downs was 8th. So
2-2. Brad. I think we should start counting how many 2-2s Brad goes for now.
No. I haven't got the records, mate. I'm afraid. Sorry. We'll have to stick with you.
I can look back in the chat, mate. Right. The big game. 2 games will be featured on Monday night on our weekend review. Obviously, the Leicester Forest will be one, the first game, and the last game of the weekend, Arsenal hosting Liverpool. Doug asked me the other day, are Arsenal losing it with the fact that they've got such a bad disciplinary record? More sending offs than any other team. There are 3 sending offs in 8 games. That's almost 1 every 2 games. And they're up against the Liverpool side. And let's be honest with you, top of the form table, top of the table itself. If there was an egg and spoon race this year, they'd be top of that as well. Arne Slot, he has gone in there and has great. And I'm not going to claim this one. This one was Craig's. He's slotted in perfectly into that team. That's how you do it. I felt sorry for him. I'm thinking, how the hell do you follow? Not Klopp as in winning trophies, because over a period of time, he wasn't. I don't think he would have lasted that long at a Chelsea or a Man United. But they love him, and he had one amazing season. And how do you follow that? Well, just by going in and winning every game bar 1. And that's what he has done. Where are you going with this one? Because me and Doug agreed on this.
Oh, dear. I think Arsenal are self-imploding and they're getting out of the way early, to be fair.
Yeah, aren't they? Yes. Yeah, just out of interest, on the last 4 games, Arsenal are 7th in the form table.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're getting it out of the way early instead of leaving it till late March, April and May to kind of throw away a title. They just can't be arsed with it this season. It seems all of a sudden because
Arsenal can't be asked. Hey.
well, I mean, because they had a good start, didn't they, Chris? And it was
Yes.
like, oh, and then all the talk about Man City's case for the
Mhm.
charges. Oh, they might win it this season. It might be tainted, but they're going to go and win it. And
Yeah.
then they implode, sending offs, dropping points, losing to Bournemouth. Again, great respect to Bournemouth, but that's a game they should be winning. Arsenal, even with 10
Yeah.
men, at very worst, taking a point, but losing it the way they did. And I think it's just going to get worse for Arsenal. I think Liverpool are going to keep staking their claim to title to push Man City all the way. And I've got Arsenal 0, Liverpool 2.
Ooh. Okay, so you've gone 0-2 to Liverpool.
Yeah.
I don't know if Anthony's still in or not, but Doug and me both went for Liverpool to get 2 goals. But we did say Arsenal would get 1. So we have both gone Liverpool at 2, Arsenal 1.
Well, funny enough, Spencer has also gone 2-1, but
Really?
not
Wow.
Liverpool. He's
Oh,
gone 2-1 to Arsenal. Yeah, see,
wow.
reeled you in,
Wow.
Spencer has gone for Arsenal to bounce back and get 3 points, which I admire the optimism, I guess. I admire the
Yes.
optimism. But you never know, do
Yeah.
you? You never know. It's a funny old
You
game.
never know. You don't indeed. John's gone 1-1. Craig's gone 2-1. Shane has gone 2-3. And so he's got a Liverpool win. Craig was 2-1 to Liverpool as well. And Anthony's basically done what Arsenal do and he's disappeared.
Bottled it at the last minute.
Exactly. Now, a question for you, Brad. A question. Have you ever played charades?
Yes.
So I'm going to say to you, this is a game of charades here, and you have got to guess the manager and the fan.
I'm going to guess, Chris, and it sounds like a wild accusation to be making, but I'm going to guess that the manager is Gary O'Neill and the fan is Paddy from Emmerdale.
Well done, that man. Yes.
Oh, there you go.
Wow. I mean, even the Bournemouth fan, Matthew, that was in, he couldn't believe he did. The soapbox did come out, I'm going to say. The rest of us
I heard that he was so in love with him that Gary O'Neill went to sit down and said, I felt a prick up my arse.
Hey, boom, boom. Well, that was the time I did ask him that if he knew if Gary O'Neill wore condoms. He said, even John's got it. Gary and Craig, he's becoming famous for it. I might just have to actually clip that. Clip Craig. There we go. Right. Okay. Look, it was the first game. It's kicking off in 50 minutes. But we're going to do it last because that way we've kept everybody watching till the end. We're not stupid. We're not stupid. Leicester City hosting Nottingham Forest. Leicester City, who are actually looking at the form table on the last 4 games, and you might want to get a tissue for this, Brad, because you're going to get a nosebleed, because we're 9th.
Wow, guessed it. I guessed 9.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
We've won 2, drawn 1, lost 1, scored 7, conceded 7. Forest, though, in their last in the last 4 games, Forest are in 12th place. 1-1, drawn 2, lost 1 with 5 points. 4 scored, 4 conceded. Now, I was hoping I would much prefer this to be at the City Ground because Forest's away games, they are a hell of a lot better. Well, look at Liverpool than their home form at the moment. But look, we've got to be going in on this on a high, haven't we? We really have. So glad it isn't the international break. Winning a game is good. Winning 2 games in a row is good. But to win a game in the 98th minute of a 97-minute match, I mean, the Leicester players have got to be going on in on this on a high, haven't they?
Yes, they do. Sorry, the door went. I had to go and grab the door.
It's all right, don't we?
Yeah, they've got to come in on a high. Just beat Southampton away from home, which, ask Luke if he's still in, is a rare occasion for Steve Cooper. Not many away as Forest manager, so he's got over his sickness bug for at least a week. Anyway, he's managed to get over it, hasn't he? This is going to be a difficult game. And I said before we started, there was a result that at the last minute I changed what I'd gone for, and it was this one. And this is weird because before the Southampton game, we was like, 9 points, needed out of these 3 games. We've got 3. We need another. Yeah. And now all of a sudden, considering how well Forest have been in tough games this season and how I know that 12th on the form table, but they're doing well this season.
And they are doing very well.
Obviously, we want to win it. Obviously, you want to win every game of football. You really do. But I would also be happy to take a point right now. Because you've got to take the fact that it's East Midlands. You've got to look at it as it is. It's a good side coming to the King Power who are very, very capable of beating anybody on their day and have proven that already this season. And I was tempted, Chris. I was tempted to go for a draw. But Spencer took that responsibility out of my hands because he's gone for a Desmond. He's joined the crew with a Desmond. He's gone 2-2.
Right.
I originally went 2-1 Leicester. But then I changed my mind because I'm allowed to and I can. And I've changed it, and I've probably cursed myself now, but I've changed it to 3-1 Leicester because on Tuesday night show, I believe it was, made that early prediction, and I'm going to stick with it. I've gone 3-1 to Leicester.
Right. Well, Doug went 2-1 to Leicester.
Good lad.
Which probably means we're going to lose. Now, I spoke to Reese, who from the red side of the Trent, the Forest fan, like I say, on Thursday. And they play a 4-2-3-1. They love Nuno. They still love Steve Cooper. It's going to be interesting how Nuno will feel as if the fans are cheering as much for the opposition manager as their own. He said he was going to have 2 because I said I've got 2 predictions, like you said, head and heart. His head, he had no idea. He just literally couldn't call this. But his heart, he went 1-0 to Forest, which, of course, I accept. He's a Forest fan. He's going to.
Yeah, you've got to back your own team.
Yeah.
In it.
Nottingham Forest are slight favourites to win this with the bookies. And remember, like we say, gambling is not the answer when your fun stop. But, yeah, they are still like something like 1.3 to 1.7. It's very, very close. I have gone. You don't remember what I went for on Tuesday, did you?
No, I didn't.
No, because I gone. And you're locked. You're locked in. You can't change your mind now because I've gone 3-1 to Leicester.
Hey, I don't say what you can have the points on that one, Chris, because it's Leicester. I don't mind that at all.
Yeah, so I have done that. Craig has gone 2 for Leicester, Vardy and Fats, 2 for Wood, a Desmond. Actually, the longest explanation of a Desmond I've ever had. John says tight game, 2-1 to Leicester. And Luke's obviously had too much to drink, so we'll just ignore him. He has gone 2-0 Forest as a Forest fan. Fair play. Fataou's got to start. Last question, Brad. Fataou's got to start, hasn't he?
He does. He really does. He has to be starting. He's going to be hungry. He's going to be chomping at the bit. And he's going to want to continue that form and make sure he becomes someone that Steve Cooper puts first on that team sheet week in, week out. And the only way to do that is to put in a performance like he did against Southampton for the 31 minutes he was on there, and continue it tonight.
Yes, indeed. No team news as yet. Brad, thank you so very much. Doug has said he has added Buenete to his EPL.
No, take him out. Take him out. You'll jinx us.
Well, Fatawu was actually in a couple of teams of the week last week, so fair play to him. And Cooper was his manager of the week as well. But there we go. Brad, I'll let you go because both of us are going to go and come back again. I will see you in an hour, sir.
See you in an hour, sir. I look forward to it.
Brilliant, mate. All the best. Thanks a lot for this. And see you for the match.
See you there, mate.
Take care. Doug's has just said, how dare you call him a jinx? Doug, do you know if you can come on yet or not tonight? Because we've still got a space open in the post-match prediction. Not the post-match prediction. What am I saying? The post-match chat bit at 10 o'clock. If you are watching the game, I know you're on daddy duty, but Fats to start is definitely a must. We've got the game coming up 7:15. We've got the pre-match and the team news. We're going to have the half-time, first half commentary, half-time analysis, second half commentary, and then we are going to take all your interesting comments at the end. So I hope it's good news. But we will find out. We will find out in an hour and 43 minutes. Thanks to Doug thanks to Brad for coming on. Thanks to Doug and everybody else in the chat, Luke, Craig, and everybody else. It has been a pleasure. See you in an hour, and go off and water the plants, as they say. See you in a bit. See you later.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too, or I'll be back.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
That will conclude this evening's entertainment.